If you play fantasy and you don't know what teams these players are on, you're not locked in. We got to update all of the offseason moves so that not only we have an idea going into our drafts what the league's about to look like, but so we actually win all our leagues. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the most notable ones. It's my birthday, so I'm going to fly through this. I'm not going super in depth. I just got to get a video out to y'all for my birthday. All I ask is smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know if I missed any players that you think are notable, because I really just want to touch first on Jk Dobbins over to Denver. Obviously, he was one of our guys from last year. We were drafting out probably in that 10th, 12th round, just like Javonte this year, who had dealt with some injuries, went to a new situation that was on the up, and was able to take over the RB1 role, let alone showing off his prime of the explosiveness that a lot of people had touted that player for. So for JK, he goes over to Denver, and it's interesting the play that it's going to have on RJ Harvey, the rookie drafted in the second round from the Broncos, because a lot of people have been loving him, drafting him about, I think, his ADP, average draft position, is pick 54. And I haven't gotten him a lot around there, which I like the player. I think he could have a lot of upside, especially come the end of the season when it's time to advance through the playoff tournaments, weeks 15, 16, and 17. But Jk Dobbins, we know the skill that's behind it. We know that he could go over to the Chargers and be the mainly 3-down back. Obviously, Gus was there. People were a little worried, and that's what gave us the discount. And it just took him showing that he would actually fill the blocking role alongside the upside, which is something you got to look for RBs who are going to actually take over the starting role, which RJ Harvey does have. So I'm excited to see how it plays out, and I know that it's going to push RJ Harvey down probably 6 to 15 picks. That'll just allow me to start sprinkling him a little bit more. Because also Jk Dobbins, like Kamara throughout his season, obviously a big different grade, but could definitely be a player who still gets hurt a few games every year, just like Kamara. And even if he is going to produce, not to the level of Kamara, but a similar situation where it's like a Mark Ingram is RJ Harvey. Obviously different tied to age, also like a downgraded Walmart version of Gibbs Monty. But that's what I expect this Denver backfield to look like now. And one of the next biggest changes is Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh. Obviously, we have been really fading Pittsburgh, really fading DK Metcalf. But I probably have to let go of some of that attachment to the idea that I've already placed of DK dumpster fire. And understand that, yes, he's not going to be the wide receiver that I'm looking to draft out there. But if he makes it to me, he's going to be a wide receiver that a few weeks throughout the season definitely explodes as the only wide receiver out there besides like a Calvin Austin or a Roman Wilson. Because they shipped George Pickens over to Dallas now. So Dallas brings in Javonte Williams, George Pickens, two of their most weak offensive positions, their wide receiver 2 and their RB, trying to be a lot better this year, bringing in 2 solid skill positions. I think CD is still going to do CD things, and it should probably downgrade to the same spot that I haven't been drafting him much. But he could still always be a top 4 wide receiver. Pickens can definitely have a lot more upside in best ball. It might be harder to draft and redraft to know when or when not to start, but it could definitely be of value. And honestly, I'm not going to dive into Stephon Diggs. We know he's done. Don't waste your time. Devontae Adams is an interesting one. He could definitely, obviously, still go show his high skill production. It's just interesting. Do I want to draft him at that cost? I'm not finding myself doing it a lot. Similarly with D-Hop to a much different degree, a lot older, and Cooper Kupp. That was actually who I meant to say first, but all those same kind of gaps of they're entering a new situation, all of which potentially are better for them besides Cooper Kupp's, you could say. But in his term, better for him from his progress of the injury. And people are saying he's unstoppable right now out of the slot. So those are just the main notable guys. Najee's over to start that same kind of thing that JK is doing with RJ Harvey as Najee's doing with Omarion Hampton. 2 different degrees. Omarion should be the dominant one there. But outside of that, yeah, Evan Engram, we're not going to dive in anymore. I like him. He should be a top 10 tight end. We'll see. That's all we're going to do for today. All we ask for the birthday is show the love. We're building the Destined Community, 10,000 followers by the start of Season 2, and 69 followers immediately. So go show love, subscribe, give us a like, and Let us know if there's any notable players that we didn't touch on that you think could be important to be caught up to date and be aware of. So let's have a day. Let's have a year. It's Fantasy Destined. Fantasy Destined to the moon, baby. It's a destiny.